I'm always going to believe women. I just took that as a stance and said, listen, there has been too many times in our country's history where women have come forward and said they were raped or sexually assaulted or molested, and we don't believe them. We blow it off. We ignore it. Two women have come forward and said that Derrius Guice raped them while he was at LSU. You'll recall he was let go by the Washington football team because of the 3 counts of battery, I believe, and assault, domestic violence. You reap what you sow. And what amazes me is in almost all of these stories, including this one about Derrius Guice, they said that these two people came forward and said that it occurred in 2016. And the sad thing is that they said they reported it to coaches and administrators and other people at LSU, and nobody did a fucking thing about it. So if I was them, not only would I be going after Guice, I'd be going after LSU. I told you guys that there's a rapist on your football team, and you did nothing about it. I don't understand how this happens. How do you, as a responsible adult, as a human being, how do you just turn the other cheek for a fucking football game? It says so much about your morals. It says so much about your compassion. It says so much about you as a human being, as an administrator, as an employee. I don't know. It's a good question. Will this be the fall of LSU? I don't think so, because here's what'll happen. So you got to understand, Terrence and everybody else, here's what I think will happen when all this shakes out, all right? If these two females, if this turns out to be accurate and correct, and I'm always going to assume that what these women say, here's my thing, and you guys can like this or not, it's okay if you don't. I'm always going to believe women. I just took that as a stance and said, listen, there has been too many times in our country's history where women have come forward and said they were raped or sexually assaulted or molested, and we don't believe them. We blow it off. We ignore it. Hence LSU. So I would always rather believe the woman and then look for the proof than to blow it off. Because what happens is, if we ignore all of it and go, yeah, bring us proof, it prevents them from coming forward in the first place. So I will always say, you know what? If a woman comes forward and says she was raped, I believe her. Now let's go find the evidence and the proof to put that son of a bitch in jail. And what will happen in the course of doing that is we'll find out if she's telling the truth or not. Most of the time, 99% of the time, they're telling the truth. And this is why you should believe them. Because we can also take the information and find out if they are or they're not. The problem is that you've got some of these scumbags around in our society, at LSU, at other places that go, just getting drunk and having sex. That's not how it works, okay? That's not how it works. So if you're so quick to dismiss a woman, I think you need to reevaluate what your priorities are with your fellow human beings, okay? Because that's what the court is for, is to find the evidence, present the evidence, and determine innocence or guilt. But I'm not going to not believe a woman simply because, 1 out of every 1,000 are making it up. And that's how people think. Well, 1 out of every 1,000 lie. Okay, but what about the other 999 that don't? So I'm gonna assume that what they're saying is true, and I don't think it's gonna bankrupt LSU. And here's why. You have to remember that this was the athletic department. This was football. This was athletics. The chancellor, the dean, everybody involved on the academic side and the board of regents is going to get together and say, all you are out. All of you got to go. They're going to clean house and start over, at least with the people that were involved and knew about it and either ignored it or covered it up. So no, I don't think it's going to bankrupt LSU, because they have that split between sports and academics, even though sports runs things money-wise, there's that cover. There's that, hey, academics can look over and go, all right, sports fucked up. We're going to clean house and start over. Richard Vale says, as a father of 2 girls, I appreciate you saying this, Barry. 100% correct. Well, thank you. I just feel like as men, we have to do our part to protect the women in our society. And I get it, innocent until proven guilty. Listen, women have put up with this shit for far too long. So.
What's up, you dirty deckhead? Hey, thanks for checking out the show. I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. That way you'll find out when I go live. Speaking of going live, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 p.m., right here on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/barryisfunny. It's Barry on deck. I do it every day. Come check it out. Tell a friend. Also, I left you some other shows to watch over there, so go check them out. I'll see you on the show.